today we are going to be cooking hash browns. These are the ingredients you'll need. You'll need 2 potatoes, 1 onion, 1 egg, salt and pepper to season, 2 tablespoons of plain flour, a bowl to mix everything in, a grater, a clean tea towel, some baking paper and a baking tray, a cookie cutter, and a wooden spoon, and that's what you need to make 2 hash browns. Now to start off we are going to preheat our oven. I've put it on fan oven and 180 degrees. Now we are going to peel our potatoes. I like to peel my potatoes on top of a bowl just because it makes cleaning up a hell of a lot easier. So we're going to peel both potatoes, then move on to the next step. Next up we will grab our nice clean tea towel and our grater. This is the side of the grater I use. It's sort of the middle ground. It isn't the biggest or the smallest bit, but it works for this perfectly. Then, I know it looks weird, but we're going to grate our potatoes. Now please do be careful of your fingers, guys, and when it gets to the end of the potato it does get a little bit hard, but just keep with it. I promise you it's going to be worth it. Now it's not very appetizing, but this is what our potatoes are going to look like. Then we are going to take our corners of our tea towel and then grab it in the middle and pick it up, and you will see loads of liquid come out. So run to the sink and then squeeze our potato gratings. This just dries out the potato, which means it's going to cook to be lovely and crispy. After you've squeezed for around a minute, this should be what it looks like. Next, we are going to put all of our potato gratings into our bowl. Make sure to get every little bit off of that tea towel. Then we are going to take our onion and we are going to chop it. As I always say, guys, be really careful with knives. Be careful of your fingers. Make sure that you don't cut them. Now we are going to chop our onions up. As I've said, I always go down the middle first and then I go horizontal. This just means it's going to be in little tiny pieces, which means it will mix really well with the hash brown. Take all of our onion and we are going to pop it in the bowl with all of our potato. Now I don't know if it's just me, but does anybody else look like they've been sobbing for hours after chopping an onion? Next we are going to grab our plain flour. I put 2 tablespoons in for me. For me it makes a really nice texture for the hash brown. However, you can add less and it will be a bit more crispy, or you can add more and it will be a little bit softer. Next we're going to add our egg. Just crack it on the side of the bowl or use a fork, and then we're going to pop it in with the rest of our ingredients and give it a good old mix. Really make sure you mix in there, guys, and make sure everything's all mixed up. It will make a lovely consistency and a really nice hash brown. Then I am adding my seasoning. I'm putting in some pepper and I'm putting in some salt. You can add a couple more bits. I usually add a bit of garlic, but I'd unfortunately ran out. I've also added paprika in these before, which gives it a really nice kind of smoky, spicy taste. Then we're going to mix all of this together. Again, really take your time mixing. Next up, you want to grab your baking tray and your baking paper. If you don't have any baking paper, you can just slick the pan with oil. However, I just prefer to use the paper so nothing sticks to the tray. And we're going to chop it so it covers the whole tray. Next, you're going to want to grab your cookie cutter. This is what is going to shape our hash browns. So I am just spooning the mixture in there. I like my hash browns to be quite thick, so I filled it all the way to the rim. However, you can just do it halfway if you want them to be a little bit smaller or you're making more than 2. This mixture actually made 3 for me. It made 2 really big ones and 1 slightly smaller one. This is how mine ended up looking, all ready to go into the oven. Now please be careful and wear oven gloves, guys. You do not want to burn yourself. Pop them in there and leave them to cook for around half an hour. Make sure you flip them 15 minutes in. Now it's time to take them out. Remember your oven gloves, guys. We don't want any burns or anything. This is how mine looked. They were in for about half an hour. You could cook them for a bit longer if you'd like them a bit crispier. So a great thing to do would be to cook your sides whilst you are cooking the hash browns in the oven. You can have bacon, sausage, eggs. I had mushrooms, avocado and spinach, and oh my god, it's making me hungry just looking at it, guys. Time for my favourite bit now, the taste test. Does it pass? Of course it does, guys. Couldn't recommend this enough for a Saturday morning breakfast. Now I'm going to go enjoy mine. Goodbye.